Welcome back, everybody, to the latest edition of this Toronto Blue Jays career sim. I'm JayBlue, and you are watching on the General Manager Games channel on YouTube. So today is going to be the draft, so we're probably just going to sim up to the draft and then go through the draft. I will probably let you all watch the first 10 rounds or so, but the rest of it is probably going to be pretty boring, but I'm going to do most of it manually. Last time I simmed, I think, the last 20-30 rounds or so, and I was pretty disappointed because the AI really went after high school players, and to be honest, most players that teams go after even the first several rounds are college players, because the high school players are going to ask for too much money that to forego their college commitments. I mean, you may get a high school player once in a while. I mean, if you look at the Blue Jays, they got Danny Jansen in the 16th round out of high school from Wisconsin. He was, again, probably not one of the top draft prospects, and would probably, you know, he wanted to start his professional career, and you'll get those guys. But a lot of players, you know, the $100,000, $125,000 bonus that you can max out on in or at least teams can max out on before they start to eat into that bonus pool after round 10, the way things work in real life, you know, teams generally don't do that. So we are going to try to be a little bit more realistic. It also creates a real logjam at the lowest levels of the minors. And so you probably watched last year as we had so many, you know, 18-year-old outfielders that we didn't have time to get all of them in. And if you include some of the players that the Blue Jays had taken in the draft in 2019, like Masson, Jean-Claude Masson, and you know, we just didn't have enough playing time to go around. So we're going to try to spread things out a little bit to some more college players. But until then, we're going to just read the important message, which is the All-Star voting update. If we look at the voting update, we have Vladdy Guerrero in third place for first baseman, and I think that's the only Blue Jay that we have here. All right, we have our game against the Royals. It is Monday, May 31st, and we have Tanner Roark on the mound. Roark has had a couple of decent starts, and so he has actually gotten his way back into the rotation. And the Jays can't keep the ball rolling, their winning ways rolling with that loss. We do have a message we want to see, and that's the player development update. So, you know, movement ratings for Nate Pearson have gone down a little bit, which is a bit frustrating. He's going to get hit with more home runs, but his stuff does get up to that 80 mark. Luis Garcia, potential eye improves, so that's another great thing to see from Garcia, who is our Rule 5 draftee. Bo Bichette, his current contact rating has dropped. Forrest Wall has an improvement, and his potential rating also improves. His overall rating improves here. Zach Jackson has potential stuff rating improving, overall rating improving, potential rating improving. Thomas Hatch, his stuff drops, but his overall rating as a reliever improves. Kevin Smith, current power rating is improving, his eye rating is improving, and his potential rating drops. Paolo Oosting, yeah, we don't think too much of him. He's not doing very well anyway. Current and potential movement for Elvis Luciano drops from 50 to 45. Control rating improves, though. Will Robertson is improving across the board here. His current and potential contact are up. Current eye is up. Defensive rating of first base is up. And overall rating is improved a little bit. Kyle Johnston, he also gets an improvement. Nick Gonzalez, he gets a potential rating drop overall, but his current speed is up, and his potential contact rating improves too. So that's a nice thing to see. Otto Lopez gets a bump in defensive rating, and overall rating improves. Miguel Geraldo, current eye, current defensive rating improves, so that's nice to see. Overall rating, he's now up to 1 star. John Solarte, potential power goes up a little bit, current speed drops. Chris Rivera in Vancouver, stuff improves. Control rating improves, potential control rating improves, and overall rating improves. Camden Minachi gets some improvement here. Ben Hernandez gets some improvement, but his stamina is dropping. That may come back up. I'm not sure how stamina works exactly, but that may come back up when he actually gets to pitching again, because the rookie leagues haven't started. Alexander Ayala gets a bump in velocity, and current movement rating improves as well. Tommy Troy, shortstop, improved contact, potential contact improves, and potential rating drops. Robbie Ashford, current contact rating improves, potential rating drops. Scott Agar in our international complex, and he is a potential 1.5-star player. His speed rating has improved, and his defensive rating in left field has improved. All right, and we didn't get any of the major awards for the month of May. Yordan Alvarez for the Astros, Josh Bell for the National League hitter, Mike Clevenger, Walker Buehler, and Rookie of the Month was Isaac Paredes. And San Diego's Mackenzie Gore gets that for the National League. And so let's take a look at the summary for our game. We lost 11-6 to the Royals. Tanner Roark on the mound, giving up 6 runs in 3 innings. Shun Yamaguchi had a brutal outing too. Wilmer Font was very strong, 3 innings of shutout ball, and Danny Jimenez finished it off. Offensively for the Jays, Vladdy Guerrero hits a home run. He is up to 9 on the season. Travis Shaw is leading him right now, but he also hit a double. We had 3 hits from Vladdy. He's up to 298. All right, let's play the next game. We have Nate Pearson versus Danny Duffy. And we received a personal message. We did not get the waiver claim of Alex Wood. The way it works is teams have different priorities. So if Wood is with the Dodgers, the National League would get all priority first, and it would go in ascending order of the team's worst record, and then go to the American League, and then team's worst record, and then up through there. So we could not claim him. We tried, but another team with a higher priority ended up claiming him. So this is what the commissioner is telling us. Nice try, but somebody who has higher priority has claimed him. In a 3-1 loss, we had Nate Pearson with a solid start, 2 earned runs in 6 2/3, striking out 5. Tim Meza and Wade Davis coming on for relief. Offensively, we had 2 hits from J.D. Martinez, 2 hits from Billy McKinney, 2 hits from Bo Bichette, and that was it. Doubles from McKinney and Bichette, and all 3 of them hit a double. So that's it. Not much offense there. So now we're going to face former Blue Jay Glenn Sparkman against Hyunjin Ryu to finish up this series against the Kansas City Royals. And we do come out and win this one, thankfully. It took a former Rule 5 pick of the Blue Jays to get, bounced with 2 home runs against him for the Jays to win. Hyunjin Ryu only went 3 2/3 innings. He was injured and has a day-to-day calf strain. But the bullpen did really well. Yamaguchi bounced us back. Rafael Dolis, Font, and Jimenez finishing things off. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. with his 10th home run, and Travis Shaw with his 11th. 4 RBI here for Shaw, so a nice game for Shaw. He's probably player of the game there. Yep. All right, and we finished that series, losing 2, winning 1. And the next series is against the St. Louis Cardinals. And we're home against the Cardinals. We have a day off, so we're going to finish today. All right, we have 2 things to deal with. We have the first-year player draft, and we have the game against the St. Louis Cardinals. So let's take a look at the draft first. It would be nice to get Kumar Rocker, 4-star pitcher. He's ranked number 1 for the interesting how, here's the 4th ranked guy in the draft, and he is a 2-star second baseman. Like, that's just really super weird. And we're going to head to the draft. All right. First year player draft. So I think we're picking 25th. So we have quite a late round pick. And I think that pick is worth $3.64 million. So one of the things that we're going to want to do after we start the draft One of the things that we were going to want to do is auto draft until the next pick by Toronto. One of the things we want to do is just keep an eye on a player's signability, because if the player is impossible to sign, we're not going to get him. So, and this has become sort of more, I don't know, realistic, but I would say it's a little bit more firm in the way these players are treated. So it doesn't look like there's a lot of really high talent guys left. We have the best starting pitcher looks like Hagen Smith. Hagen Smith has 3 pitches, and he may be the best player left available. He's a fly ball pitcher, which I don't like. He's got a 50 movement potential, which is okay. Velocity, he's a young guy. He's a high school kid. So velocity can usually improve in high school kids. So 92 to 94 is fine for a guy to start. Fastball is good. Control's potential is about a 50. And I mean, great high school numbers, obviously. 200 strikeouts and 101 in a third inning. So you can't put very much stock into that. So that's one option, Hagen Smith. I'm just going to see what the scouting director recommends. They recommend Drake Veronado. He is a shortstop out of high school. He's asking for $500,000. I'm going to see what he looks like. So again, I wouldn't take a first-round pick on a guy like this, because very fringy. I mean, 45 contact is probably okay, and if he does develop that 60i, that's probably fine. Pretty good defense. And he's a high school kid. He's 18 years old. Again, high school numbers mean nothing. You know, he could be a good defender, but I wouldn't go with a guy like this in the first round. The more highly rated shortstop is Christian Campbell, and Campbell's also another high schooler. It looks like there's just a ton of high school guys in this, and it could also be that because they're younger, the ratings are higher for high school kids because they don't have quite as good scouting accuracy. And again, we can toggle between the OSA ratings and the head scout. I mean, to some degree, I feel like this Drake Veronado is slightly better than Christian Campbell. So what I like here, okay, I like stuff. And I'm not going to go after a relief pitcher with 2 pitches in the first round if I can avoid it. Now he's got 2.5. I mean, he'd probably be a fringe starter, this Tyler Lewis. Trevor Bateson, again, that movement is just not what I want. So right now I'm kind of thinking, so Kevin Abel is a college pitcher. He is very low here on the stuff potential, but much better on control and movement, and 3 fairly well-developed pitches already. He's a college guy. You can now sort of put a little more stock into the numbers. So 2.62 ERA. He went to Oregon State, which is great competition level. He'll sign for the slot, which is actually like $3.5 million. Very solid numbers here in really good competition. He's a lower ceiling type of guy, obviously, but it doesn't look like we're going to get somebody with a higher ceiling. Hagen Smith is the only 3-star guy here. He's a high school guy. So the question becomes, do we want to go with a high ceiling, or do we want to go with... I'm going to take a look at this guy too. See, this guy has a profile that I like a little better. He's got very good defense. He is a guy that I'm going to look for in with my second-round pick. Shortstop, 17-year-old high school kid. He's got a extremely hard sign ability. He's asking for $500,000. That's going to be fine if we take him in the second round, if he's still left, obviously. Dorian Gonzalez, another shortstop. So these are all the guys with 2.5-star ratings. He's got great defense. That's why he's a 2.5-star rating. High scouting accuracy. He's also a high school guy. But the difference here is he's got very little power. That's Dorian Gonzalez. And this is just pitching stuff, so that's why you'll see a 20 here. Now, he's got great control potential, but I don't like this sort of gap between his current and his potential. 4 pitches, though, that's always nice to see. He doesn't throw very hard, and his potential for stuff is not great. Again, he's not a guy that I would consider a first-round pick. Jaden Hill, again, very low movement, not a guy I would consider a first-round pick. Now, we have some guys who are a little better developed. And Gunnar Hoagland, he's, fringe average velocity, very good college competition, easy signability. He'll get that. 50 potential, again, like 60 control. That's a really nice control. He's got 3 well-developed pitches already and 1 that is still being developed. And as a college guy, yeah, he's not bad. Again, I'd say second-round pick for sure. Maxwell Muncy, again, not a ton of power, a little more. Plate discipline is good. Defense is good. Again, these guys are normally what I would say in a second-round pick. But the problem is, it depends on where you finish. Center fielder Grant Richardson, again, very fringe, good power, good range, but the rest of his outfield attributes are not the best. He's a college kid. He played in Indiana, great competition level, and slot demand. Usually if guys are asking for slot, what I would want to do is pick him a little bit later. So we're just going to rank here again by stars, and sometimes I want to see what their, no, I'm trying to just rank them by their, I think I'm just going to try to rank them by, and I'm going to customize this and say the bonus demand. Let me find it here. Because sometimes bonus demand, I mean, sometimes they're just, out to lunch. But other times they are, there's some, maybe that's contract value, years left extension. I know this is super exciting demand. There we go. As I search for their bonus demands. So if we rank by bonus demand, impossible. Slot. So I guess slot is the highest that they think. Here we go. So now we have 40,000, 80,000, 150,000. So the highest slot remaining, or the highest bonus demand remaining, is Raleigh Hector. He's a 2.5-star guy. He is this guy with the major control. OSA really doesn't say anything different about him. So that's pretty unreasonable demand of, $7.5 million. So here, another $7.5 million is Carlos Rodriguez. A little bit better here in the stuff. So he has the potential for some really good stuff. He's got 3 pitches. He's a high school senior. Very hard signability. If you want to give him $7.5 million, I certainly don't. $7 million here. Grant Taylor, another 2.5-star. Tyler Lewis, a relief pitcher, is asking with, a borderline fringe changeup. He's asking for $6.5 million. Great competition level in college. He was a starter in college. They just think that this third pitch is not good enough to make it in the major leagues. If it improves, however, there's actually a fairly good chance that he could be a starter. And as we go down here, mostly pitchers. There's a lot of college guys in here. And mostly 2.5. Tyler Lewis is the only 3-star guy here with a really big bonus demand. Okay, so I think I have made up my mind. We're going to go with the upside a little bit. And he's very even here. And he's just 17, so we're hoping that all pans out. We're going to go with, and he's looking for slots, so, he's going to get what we get. Fly ball pitcher, he's a side armor. 92 to 94, and that's probably going to improve. Right now, he's a bullpen guy, but I'm definitely going to go with Hagen Smith as my first round selection. And I'm going to draft player. All right, we are now in round 2. We hold the 23rd pick in the second round. And again, remember what I said, some of these guys might be around in the second round, and some of them are. So, for example, Christian Campbell, who we liked, very well-rounded guy, and 50-50, that's probably Major League. And it's even better, 55-45 here. Now, he's another high school kid. He's got an impossible signing bonus demand, or he's coming out of a junior college. He's got an impossible signing bonus demand, so I'm not going to take him. Now, Grant Richardson is a college kid. Again, this is a fairly fringe profile. That 45, but 50 is better than anything else. And so right now, he's coming out of a college junior, coming out of Indiana. He's looking for slot, got some power, got some speed. He is definitely top of my list right now. I don't like to take too many pitchers early. And Drake Varnado, he is the guy that our scouts wanted us to sign. That walk rate is nice. Defense is good overall. And if he's around in the third round, I'm going to take him. But right now, I'm going to draft Grant Richardson, go for a left-handed hitting outfielder. And we're going to sim to the next round. And look, Drake Varnado is still around. Now, in terms of pitchers, the 40 movement potential is scaring me with Grayson Carter. Michael Morales, the 30 movement potential is scaring me. Jack Perkins, that's a little better of a profile. And the potential for the 3 pitches is great. I really like that. He's coming out of Kentucky. He's asking for $1 million, 1.1 million. That should be doable. I'm going to go with a college pitcher here in the third round. I'm going to go with Jack Perkins. And recommended slot is 600. So we're going to have to go over slot to get him, I think. But I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. And in the next round, so I think Drake Varnado is still around. So now we're going to finally take the guy that our scout wanted us to take in the first round. We're getting him in the 4th round. So now we've got 2 pitchers. We've got 2 position players, including 1 shortstop and 1 outfielder. And we head to the 5th round. And we're going to ask our scouting director what he recommends. He recommends high school starting pitcher Jay Woolfolk. Woolfolk has a really low movement, so I'm almost just going to dismiss him as it is now. We've got lots of 2-star guys. Philip Abner, 50-50-45. That's pretty solid, so he's definitely on the list. He's coming out of high school. Again, you're seeing a lot of high school guys. Clay Aguiar, very low potential there. And I'm wondering what makes him a 2-star guy, and it's definitely not his bat. We have Keegan Allen. He's a high school guy, 35 movement potential. Joe Amarato, again, 35 movement potential. I think their number of pitches, he's got 4 pitches. I think the number of pitches is pumping up his status as it is right now. Keyshawn Askew. So again, we're not seeing a ton of potential here. So I just want to go view default, pitching potential. And I'm going to go by stuff potential. Actually, I'm going to go by movement potential. So we're looking for somebody who has fairly high potential all around. And Philip Abner is that guy, 50-50-45. That's a pretty good overall profile there. So I'm going to go with Philip Abner, another high school guy, and we're going to draft him. So that completes 5 rounds for the Toronto Blue Jays. Here we go to round 10, or round 6. Round 6, we have first baseman John Dyer, and John Dyer has some power. But we're going to look for batting potential now. And for batting potential, I'm looking for contact. Contact is what I think gets somebody to the major leagues. And this is really interesting. We have relief pitcher Joseph Calafat. Caliphate has some great stuff, but he's a way better hitter than he is a pitcher. And this is fascinating because he's going to be a first baseman, if anything. He just doesn't have the positional thing. But I'm going to take this guy because I like guys who are sort of potential two-way guys. But this 60 and 70, that's, I mean, if he can do that, that's big league. Like, that is big league potential. So we're going under the radar here in the 6th round. And we're going to check out the next round. And I do kind of like to alternate. Pitching, hitting, pitching, hitting, pitching, hitting. And so the next one who has seemingly, you know, major league potential right now is Randy Abshir. 3 pitches. 45, 50, 45. Again, that's probably high minors and for a 7th round pick. He went to Arizona, good college, solid numbers. Great. Randy Abshir, congratulations, you're a Blue Jay. And we go to the 8th round. 8th round, we're going back to the batting potential. Contact. Contact and eye, the combination. Here's another guy. He's a pitcher with very low movement, but if you look at his hitting, gap power and power are a little lacking. And again, his defense is bad, so I wouldn't sign him. The nice thing about the other guy that we drafted was that he could play first base. He has the bat to play first base. Brandon Smith, as a reliever, probably doesn't. And it's interesting, he's the only 60 contact potential left. Ray Cebulski, 50, 40, 45, 50, 55. That's actually a pretty decent profile. Let's see what Ray Cebulski looks like defensively. He looks okay. Not great. The arm is not the best. I'd probably move him to second base. He's a high school guy. And we're going to go with Ray Cebulski. As you can see, I'm not really sifting through tons and tons of players at this point. Heading into the 9th round, I'm not worrying too much. Again, most of these guys, if you get a diamond in the rough, you're really lucky. And again, we'll go with pitching potential. Let's go here. So I also do like to see stuff. And stuff with at least a 45 movement. And you can see this is the closest. We've got Connor Pellerin, 55-45, but he's got a 35 control, which means, again, probably not going to make the majors. 55-30-50, and it's getting harder and harder as we've hit the 9th round now. It's getting harder and harder to find guys who have enough movement combined with control and stuff to make it worthwhile. So we're going to take Brandon Backman. Brandon Backman, there he is. 50-40-40. I mean, that's almost one of the best combos. Actually, 50-35-50 is actually better. Keegan Allen. Another high school. It's like all the decent guys are high school guys. And recommended slot, 500,000. I can probably swing that. That's probably not the worst thing in the world. All right, here's round 10. And we're going to go with a hitter. And so we're going to rank by contact. And we're just sort of looking for somebody with, you know, for a 45 contact, if you've got a 55, Trey Harmon, here's a guy. He's got not great pitching, but if we go to the hitting ratings, and he's got decent potential here, and I may turn him into an outfielder. He could play outfield or third base, first or third base, corner, outfield. Yeah, he's played first base. And I bet you he's hit in college. No, he didn't hit in college. But look at this profile. That's like fringe big league. And his pitching is not the best. So I'm going to take Trey Harmon. You know, again, one of these guys who, let me find him. He's flying under the radar because he's been scouted more as a pitcher. All right, so that's 10 rounds. I'm just going to hit pause on the recording. I'm going to select the next, I guess, 20 players. I think they go 35, so 25 players. And I'll be back with you soon. So I just wanted to point out this guy, Tony Bullard. If you look at him, he's kind of a fringy high minor league pitcher, 45, 35, 45, 3 decent pitches. Good defender, but he also plays first and third base. And you look at his ratings, he's got 45, 45, 55, 45, 45. So I'm going to take him, and again, he's got pretty good first, third base potential there. So I'm actually going to take him. It's the 12th round, so we haven't been gone very long. I'm going to take him and turn him into a hitter. All right, we pause again. All right, and we're back. So we have here a couple of these guys who are... So we have here our list of contract demands from our selected players. And as you can see, we have some guys who are going to sign under slot, some guys who are asking for more than slot. We did find a few players like the pitchers who were actually better when it comes to hitting than it was pitching, so we've got a few of those guys. We're going to identify them and put them in as hitters when we shake up our minor league short season team rosters, which will probably come in our next sim. And once we take care of that, we'll give you a full rundown of the later picks. But there were, in the later picks, first thing, the last 5 rounds of the draft, I just went with the scouting director recommendation. Sometimes I would go for, somebody who had, let's say, 1.5 overall star potential, according to, the scouts. Regardless, I would just say, okay, well, you guys seem to think highly. Okay, I'll just pick this guy. Sometimes I would go for a single attribute. There was one pick, I just took one of the 3 pitchers who had the best fastball, who threw the hardest. Sometimes I would take based on the eye and see, the most well-rounded overall based on the eye. So sometimes I would take based on the stuff. And sometimes, it was sort of really, really fringy movement, but, a 60 stuff as opposed to, a 45 or a 50, things like that. So I would change my sort of criteria just so I don't get locked into one thing the whole time. So let's just take care of the negotiation aspect. We're going to offer, meet demand. For this guy, for Grant Richardson, he's only asking for $220,000. So I'm going to actually offer him $300,000 and see if he goes for that. It's well below slot, but it's more than what he's asking. So I'm hoping that is going to convince him. And here, Jack Perkins is asking for well above slot. I'm going to submit that offer, meet his demand. Drake Varnado, I'm going to meet his demand. And with Philip Abner, I'm also going to meet his demand. He's asking for $500,000. That's okay. Ray Cebulski is an interesting guy. So he's asking, he needs more than $7.5 million. I'm going to say no. That's not going to work. And we have Keegan Allen is asking for $500,000. I can do that. I had seen that, and I had basically said, okay, I can do that. So we're going to not sign Ray Cebulski. He was kind of I think I liked his overall, what do you call it, profile. And, but again, that's not worth paying $7.5 million for. All right, now we're going to go back to our game. We've got Matthew Boyd facing off against Carlos Martinez. And we're going to finish off this week. And then that'll be the sim today. JD Martinez wants to be traded. I don't think anybody wants you, JD Martinez. I mean, we can try. We're going to shop you around. We'll even take 5% of your salary. So we're just going to shop now, and we'll see if anybody offers anything for him. And the result is no team offers a single player in trade. So yeah, thank you, JD Martinez. I know you want to be traded, but screw you. Nobody wants you. So we lost 9-1. On the mound, Matt Boyd got hammered. Wilmer Font gave up a run. Yamaguchi, 3 strikeouts. Danny Jimenez, Ken Giles, all of them really good. Well, we had 2 hits, including a home run from Kevin Biggio. So that was pretty awful. 2 hits. Jays suck. And we have Anthony K against Ryan Helsley. And we have a win, 5-4, late win. JD Martinez, yeah, there you go. Increase your value. Maybe somebody will want to actually trade for you. Hitting a 2-run home run. Bo Bichette hit a home run. So did Vladdy Guerrero, Randall Grichuk. Guerrero had 2 hits. That was the only multi-hit game. Cavan Biggio with a hit. Bichette, forced wall. Randall Grichuk. Anthony K, a decent start. Not the best, but decent. Amir Garrett. Remember, we picked him up in off waivers, I think. And he's been really good since he's come over. Wade Davis, Ken Giles. Okay, and now it is Sunday, so this is our last game of the sim, and we have Tanner Roark once again pitching. That's going to be pretty ugly. We're facing a very good team. Fingers are crossed, folks. And didn't help at all. So 8-4 loss. Blue Jays got home run from Travis Shaw. Shaw's been bringing it a little bit lately. But Tanner Roark, 4 runs in 5 1/3 innings. He did strike out 8, but he gave up 3 home runs. And again, that's where that 35 movement is really coming to bite us. Danny Jimenez got hammered for a home run, giving up 4 runs. And that is that. Cavan Biggio ejected for arguing a strike call. All right, folks, that is our sim. We're going to spare you the minor league summary today because of the draft. We had quite a full episode. But when we come back in our next episode, we're going to take a look at those wonderful minor league fellas and see how they've been doing. So thanks very much for joining us. I'm JayBlue at Jays From Away on Twitter, and you're watching on the General Manager Games channel on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.